Good morning, guys.
Hey.
It's good morning to us. I don't know about you guys.
It's a very morning.
It's 8
very
in the
early.
morning.
Yeah.
Our summer's been going good. We've been like getting up really
Productive.
early.
Yeah, we're actually like super locked in. This one over here has me taking walks in the morning.
Guys,
I'm getting up at 6:30.
It's because I'm jet lagged.
Yeah.
Or like I was,
now
but now
she's taking me on this journey with her.
Become a routine.
Yeah.
Because I was in Pakistan last month, so I got jet lagged, and it's just become a thing now.
Yeah, and I've just been home, so
but
I don't have anything to do.
But it's going good. Summer's going good. I like that we're really locked in. Because I wanted to lock in, and I am locked in. I hope it's
last
going
year
the same
we
for
had
everyone
many
else.
empty promises of locking in. This year they're happening.
We're fulfilling those promises.
It's finally happening. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So today we're gonna be talking about basically you're the problem, and that's that.
Yeah. Everything is your fault.
Kidding. No, it's not.
Were we?
Maybe
kidding?
Sometimes.
Yeah. But sometimes it is, and that's okay. That's okay.
So we're just gonna help you like recognize that.
We're going on a journey together.
How can you fix it?
Yeah.
Is this like therapy? I don't know.
Yeah, it's therapy, but we have no clue what you're talking about. So hopefully this applies and helps you. Okay. I think first thing to note is it's not an attack. You're not a bad person. You might be, but not necessarily. There are so many different ways. We're going to get into it. There are so many different ways that you can be the problem. Not in a way that you're like actively manipulating and hurting people. Again, you could be, but not for sure. Okay, so I think we're just gonna talk about different kind of situations where
like
you can be the problem.
How this happens in friendships, relationships, maybe sometimes with school.
Yeah.
And then also, like social media cutoff culture, how that ties into this.
Yeah. Okay.
So starting with friendships.
Starting strong with friendships.
Toxic friendships are like, I feel like it's such a common thing nowadays.
It's so common, and it's so difficult to properly deal with. Especially because I feel like it usually ends up happening at some point in your friendship. It's not like you went and you found a toxic person, you became friends with them. It's something you slowly realize, and that sucks because you trust this person now.
If you're like constantly being like, why do I have no friends? Why is everyone talking so bad about me? Like, why does no one like me at school or whatever?
Yeah.
Then maybe that's your sign that you need to like self-reflect.
Yeah.
Not a little bit, a lot.
Yeah.
Because if it's like constantly happening and you're like, you're just sitting there asking yourself like, why, like, and it's happening with so many people, then that's like your clear sign that like you're doing something wrong. You're doing something that's like pushing these people away, that's like making these people not like you. Unless someone's, like going around spreading rumors about you or whatever.
Yeah, so always if you're gonna like confront people on rumors, make sure they're true.
First.
Like don't if people are lying, don't entertain that. Like don't let that slide.
That makes sense.
But also, little self-reflection never hurt anyone. So looking inside yourself and seeing what you're doing is not a diagnosis. We're not saying you're immediately the problem for that. It can never hurt to self-reflect. Yeah. So just do it anyways.
Everyone needs to do it a little bit once in a while.
Every once in a while. Yeah, exactly. You said that. Okay.
If you're like friends with a person like this, that's like, everyone's so fake. Like, I hate everyone. Like, they all hate me. Why do they hate me?
That's a victim mentality.
Yeah, and you're, like, noticing, like, what they're doing and why these people are, like, getting pushed away from them. And you're not, like, telling them to do something about it. You're not, like, helping them recognize it. Then you're also just, like, feeding into it and, like, enabling it.
And I've been in that situation.
And they're just going to stay like that.
You just have to call out, like, if it's a close friend and they're nice to you, it doesn't matter because you have to look at how they treat everyone. And if they're like mean to everyone or everyone has an issue with them, you have to look into it and find that issue and help them find the issue.
Sometimes it's not even about them being mean. It's just like, maybe they're just like being annoying, maybe they're like
Yeah.
constantly embarrassing themselves or something. Like I
You have
feel
to help
like
them.
you need to say something. I know it can be hard because you don't really know how that person can like how that person
Take
will
it.
react, how they're gonna take it. But at the end of the day, like you need to put your ego aside. That person needs to put their ego aside, and you just need to like admit it. They need to admit it to themselves so that they can work on it and it can get better. Otherwise, they're just gonna like stay like that forever until they like finally realize.
And it's your fault.
No kidding, but
yeah. Okay, also like romantic relationships. We're in high school, these things happen. We're still in very formative years of our life. Some people are gonna act a certain way, and they're not gonna want to change right now, and that's okay because they haven't reached a point in their adult life where they've realized they need to change. You're not always gonna be that point for them.
Like, girl, you can't fix him. You can't always fix him.
Yeah. Hey, and girls too, right?
Yeah.
But whatever. But it's like if you're going into it with like knowing that there's a certain thing that you just don't like about this person that they're not going to change, eventually it's going to kind of simmer up, and they're never going to know. And that's just not a fair situation to put them in.
Yeah, that's where communication comes in, and you really need to like communicate.
Yeah, that's and never ignore your own red flags. Be very aware of your own. Everyone has them. So if you were just sitting there and I just said that and you're like, not me, you're lying. Check yourself.
Perfect. They can be small, they can be big, but everyone has them.
Yeah. So, be very aware of your own red flags. I think that's such a healthy thing to just know where you have issues, and communicate that with each other.
Yeah, but when you do recognize those red flags, at least like do something about it. Yeah. Don't just sit there and just be like,
don't just be like,
whatever.
This is me.
This is just how I am.
Yeah, I hate when people are like, I hate when people are like mean and they're like, this is just me. Or the people that like cover that for like, I'm just brutally honest. No, ma'am, you're just rude. Like you can, there are ways to go about everything and you can always fix yourself on something. Yeah.
Can we talk more about communication?
Yes, communication.
So, okay, I have like kind of a story or multiple stories, but I've always told everyone that communication is key. I think you can like, because I tell her this.
Yes.
I tell her that I tell everybody that like whenever they come to me advice for like relationships or whatever, it's like, oh, you have to communicate, but then it's like, am I doing that too? And like I've noticed recently I haven't really been doing that, and I don't really know why. I don't know why, but I've recognized that, and I'm trying to work on it because it's hurt people, and that's not a good thing. It's, with like friends and like other things. So if you can recognize it like that, I think that's good, and you're like one step in the right direction, and just like keep working on it and like slowly just like get better with it. Like I'm trying to like communicate little by little more things, and hopefully that'll like help and I won't be like a hypocrite anymore. But if you're noticing something like that, it's good that you recognized it, and that hopefully
you always have to do something about it. You can't sit there and just have it recognized,
Yeah, you need to do something about it at least. That's like...
Yeah, I had one more thing I realized for relationships also. In this day and age, people are looking for a lot of different levels of a relationship. Always know what you're getting into. If you are looking for marriage and they are looking for a fling, like
it's not gonna work.
And you can't be mad at them about it because that's their personal preference. That's just what they're looking for, and so you can't like pick a person and then be like, oh, but I'll make him want to marry me. Like,
it's not gonna work. If he's not gonna like conform to it, it's not gonna work.
So, and you shouldn't have to have somebody that has to conform to. You should be able to. There's always someone out there for you. You should be able to find someone that agrees with you and your values. You shouldn't have to like change them a lot.
Yeah, that's where you communicate.
Exactly.
Because then
you go into it knowing Because
Yeah.
what? You've been together for 3 months and he's like, I'm done, I had fun. And you're like, what? I was going to get married. You can't be mad because that's, yeah. Okay.
But I mean, sometimes if that other person didn't communicate, then you
Yeah.
have a little bit of a right to be mad.
Mm-hmm. It's always, again, both ends. Like, relationships are partnerships. So, both people can always be the problem. They can always be the solution. It's only 2 people involved. Well, not whatever. It's not ever just solely one person's fault because it's a partnership. So you have to both take accountability. Okay. Also, school. There's, this is one of those where it's like not as big a deal in terms of like its effect on other people, but its effect on yourself is really big. Self-sabotage is a big thing with school. If you're procrastinating all the time
and you're failing,
never doing anything,
but you're expecting to get a good grade and you failed,
and you're upset that you're not, you have to like look at, okay, maybe I'm not. Academics is always like, the harder you like work for it and the more you care, the more time and effort you put in, the more reward you get out of it. That's something I've realized, especially this summer. I'm working ahead now because I know that I'm going to fall behind, and I know myself.
And that's good. She recognized it first, and then she's actually doing something about it. She's taking accountability. Learn something from her, guys.
Yeah, guys. Last thing, we have family issues. This one's a little harder.
This is a little difficult, because I mean, not all families are, gonna be like super toxic or whatever, but sometimes it might be a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can't really cut them off. You can't ghost them. If you've like communicated and talked to them about it and they're just like not willing to change, there's nothing really you can do.
Mm-hmm.
I think the next best thing is for you to just accept it and just let it go.
And just be aware of that in future situations. This is one of those that it's like, also, if you're the problem, try to fix it. Sometimes they can be the problem and you just can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And so one way you could be the problem is if you know their issues and you know what might get them mad or something and you just don't care. Again, it's a 2 people street. Mm-hmm. So you have to like be able to figure that out. Family's always hard because you can't like leave. You can't like just pretend they don't exist.
In extreme cases, like
obviously
you have to, you can, but
yeah. Okay.
So what about like cutoff culture?
Yeah. So here are some ways that like self-awareness might be difficult. One thing is like on social media, there's a huge onslaught of like empowerment, which is so great. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with empowerment. But I feel like a lot of people are kind of getting caught up in it in the sense that, like, oh, you do you, like, you do what you need to do. If you don't like somebody, like, cut them off. Like, you don't need them.
It's over, like,
ghost
the
them.
Smallest things.
Yeah. Have you ever seen something where it's, like, a couple and then the guy, like, looks at her or, like, doesn't look at her and everyone in the comments, like, divorce.
Red
like,
flag.
Him,
break up with
red
him.
Flag. Relax. It's never that serious. Just like calm down. It's so easy, especially when so many people have an input. If your life is on social media, a lot of people have an input on that. And so it's so easy to be like, it's them because you have a whole bunch of supporters. It's the same thing with your friends, right? Like if your friends are never calling you out, you never feel like you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Because there are so many people that think you're in the right. So why would you change yourself?
Right.
That.
And also with like little things like that, like that's when you just communicate, right? So it doesn't lead up to something bigger and then you just like
had never told them.
Throw everything at them and get mad at them and then they're like, ooh, like what happened?
Okay. I think we're gonna talk about some ways that like to like check yourself and be self-aware without like hating on yourself. Like that's never good. Don't ever like, I don't know, like make yourself out. That's like, this is harsh wording. Don't ever like make yourself out to be the victim, especially if you're realizing you're the problem. You have to just move forward. A way is like notice like little patterns with things. Like we were saying, like if you're losing a bunch of friends randomly, and it's for similar reasons, like they're saying similar things, you know, that's a pattern. You have to try to like figure out why it's happening. Always talk to your friends. Like, they're always here for you through good and bad. Like, a real friend, if you're trying to work on yourself, they would help you out. Yeah. And then, like, it's always good to self-reflect. And like we said that, but self-awareness is 50% of the way. Like, you're already halfway there. You have to do something about it, of course. But, you know, like, once you've recognized that you're the problem, you're literally there. Like, now you know what the problem is, and it's so easy to fix a problem if you can be such a big part of the solution. Like, just changing one thing about yourself can fix it so much. So, you know, that's good. Any personal anecdotes, or have you already
Well, I've
mentioned it?
kind of already touched on it, but yeah, just with like friendships. Like, there was this one girl where I was really good friends with her, and I don't really know what happened. I kind of just like, I think it just built up like little things that pissed me off, but it wasn't even that deep. And then I
Yeah.
kind of just like, I was like, oh my god, like she's like this and this and this and like such a bad person or whatever, even though she's not. And kind of just dumped all of that on her, and that probably left her confused, and that wasn't fair to her. And you know, that was like that was my bad that I didn't communicate on my part. So yeah,
But you recognize
at least
that.
I'm recognizing it. There's not really much I can do about it now because it was like 2
Yeah.
years ago, but
it's okay. It's never too late, because in the end, it's a self-growth thing. So now you know, now you're never going to do it again,
yeah.
right? Hopefully. For me, it's, again, like, I feel like I've talked about this a lot, to be honest, but last year, the friends, I didn't really have that many, and I was constantly complaining about it to the few that I did have. Surprised my whining didn't drive them away. But she would always tell me, like, you have to put yourself out there, and I just wouldn't want to. And I was like,
yeah, I get it's scary, but
it's
like,
fine.
if you want to get more friends, you have to
Yeah,
really talk to
that
people.
was her. She was like, you know, you want more friends, and I was like, yeah, but then you have to do something about it. And I've gotten so much more social, and it's been so much better. And you know, you have to take that accountability. Self-sabotage. Like, I was definitely in a crowded room where I only had one friend. I was just tailing that one friend, and I'm not that person anymore. Like, I wouldn't just do that.
Yeah, she's definitely gotten better. She has so many more friends this year.
Yay!
It's just good on her. Good for her. But,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, just to summarize, like, it's never easy. You have to become self-aware of yourself.
It's a process. It's a journey, because you know,
yeah,
you're growing, and you're
especially
gonna change.
At our age. Like, this is when these things happen. So it's good to get them now. And you know, always just pause and reflect next time you're wanting to complain about something. They're so fake, like, everyone hates me. If you're finding yourself saying stuff like that, you know, stop and think for a second. Because it might be your fault.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Yeah.
I think we got everything. We have some exciting
topics. Yeah.
Exciting topics coming up.
The next episodes. Yeah. We're gonna hopefully be back every week, and then we're gonna start getting like guest episodes in really soon. If you guys have any like people that you want on here, or any topics you want us to talk about,
if you're interested,
in like coming, then
please feedback
is so feedback is so important.
It's so helpful.
It's so helpful too.
Yeah, to know what you guys want to hear, or what we can improve on. Constructive criticism is always welcome. If you got to the end, just tell us how it was.
Yeah, that would be so helpful.
Yeah,
communicate.
Yep. Okay.
Like I was saying.
Yep. Communication is key. Okay. Thank you. We love you. We'll be back every week because it's summer. And yeah. Okay.
Bye guys.